Hello, hello, Luminaires. Welcome. My name is Jamie Butler. I'm the Everyday Medium, and this is the energy update for November 2024. I'm not alone today. I'm sitting with Colleen Ziegler.
Hi, everyone.
There she is. Before we begin this live stream, if you would kindly let us know if our microphones work. It is a polite thing to ask when you're working with spirit because sometimes they do a lot of technical difficulty issue things. So it's nice to hear from you. Hi. So today I will be trance channeling and allowing my guide Maitland to come in and communicate to you directly. She's going to give you all the energy highs and lows, best day to communicate to spirit, crystals. She's going to talk to you about what chakras are going to be challenged, needed, and supported for the month of November, as well as how to take those crystals and use them as a grid around the bed. And guys, the list goes on. It's Hertz, spirit animal, which you're going to be a little shocked. So just stay tuned about that spirit animal. I've got some thoughts on that for you, but we're not doing this. It's Maitland doing it with you. And then she's going to give you some essential oils that you can use to diffuse in your home that will help support the energies of November. Hi, Luminaires. It's so good to see you here. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you like the news of the woo-woo world delivered to you in a very, daily conversational with a little bit of joy and kick to it, you found the right place. It is my absolute joy and passion to be here to help people discover their own intuitive abilities and build trust with it. If you want to take classes or courses or want to understand more about what I'm doing, especially with spiritual wellness tours, like we have Sedona coming up at the end of February in 2025, as well as an African safari in Tanzania down to the Serengeti. I would love to have you there. We also offer classes such as trance channeling classes, which is what you're going to be witnessing today, as well as healing techniques such as Reiki and discovering how to communicate directly to spirit with a course beginning in January 15th. God, can you believe 2025 is coming? Like,
unbelievable. Yes.
Like, we're in November. This is blowing my mind. And I can't believe I just remembered all that information to share with you. This is the most difficult moment, is being conscious and like really behind my eyes before I say goodbye and leave. If you are practicing seeing subtle light energy, check out the right side of my body. That's over here. Try not to look at the awesome wall behind me, no, not the pattern or anything, but just look at the air kind of in between my ear and my shoulder. Now, if you have questions about the content that's coming through, please put your fingers to the keyboard and type that up. Colleen will be here to read them and ask any kind of clarity questions to Maitland. And reminder, if you are part of our YouTube community in the membership, we do a deep dive at... I have my glasses off, so I can't see the time.
3:45 today.
3:45?
Yeah.
It's really that late.
Yes, because it's
Wow.
2:30 now.
There you have it. I'm like losing time right now. There you go. So we'll have that a little bit later. If you're part of that tier membership, jump on in there. That's when you can ask a little bit more deeper questions about what's going on in November. All right, hang tight, relax your body. Colleen, have I missed anything?
I don't think so. I think you have it all covered.
I feel like that was the fastest I've ever done this and very thorough. Okay, so pick a point like here in the air, relax your body, keep your eyes open, just fuzzy, no blinking, and see if you can catch the little light shifts. And I will let Maitland come in and I will see you later. Here's my goodbye. Thank you so much for all the support, the likes, the shares, the comments. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Just feels like I'm home when I'm with you guys. Enjoy the energy of November. Goodbye.
Bye, Jamie.
Bye. Well, it's not a goodbye for us, and I'm coming back later.
I'll see you soon.
Please let that be true. Kidding. Yeah. I hear Maitland. Are you finally ready? Yeah.
She's ready.
It's been really ready. Oh, I did that really fast at the end. Did it look scary? I didn't. Hi, Luminaires. How are you?
Hi,
My name is
Maitland.
Maitland. That's Colleen. Hi, Colleen. My name is Maitland, Maitland, and I am here to deliver the November energy update. So, for those of you who I haven't met yet, I present myself as 9 years old. I do that because what I have found is that it's easier for you to hear bigger concepts and information, but I'm not really 9 years old. It's just something that I find is a lot of fun, and it puts people at ease, and it helps me talk really fast so I get a lot of information across. So if you're someone who likes to document or remember the information that's coming through, definitely grab pen and paper or open up your calendar on your smart device. And then you can put in the dates, kind of the energy of what's happening and what's going on so that you remember it. But also, if you're part of the YouTube membership, I make a calendar. And it's a shared calendar on Google that you can get. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to get comfortable. You get comfortable too. And let's begin with November 2024. So we start off with the new moon, and it's a really nice new moon. It's going to be very like deep emotional healing and deep emotional energy. But even though it's deep like that, it's still good to use for any kind of manifesting. So if you're looking at wanting to manifest some deeper healing aspects, maybe in relationships or with belief systems of yourself, this is a really good time to do that. And you can involve any kind of rituals that you like to do. Maybe it's like writing it down, and then you can fold it up and burn it or bury it, things of that nature. But I like to definitely say for the new moon, go outside and look at it. Go outside. It's going to be a very cleansing moment for the heart chakra. And through the month of November, the heart chakra is yet again needed. It is needed for the whole month. And I want to mention that at the beginning because there's different days that really highlight what the heart energy is doing. And November 1st is one of them. But you can use that kind of energy off of the new moon, deep emotions coming to the surface. It's not chaotic. It's not that kind of a thing. It's like gentle how you hold a baby. It's that kind of coming to a surface. So nothing's terrifying or too much to handle. And then you can use that kind of gentleness as it leads you into around the 3rd of November. It's like a very strong, let's manifest this energy today. Like it brings in a lot more support from above and below. It feels like all the pieces are clicking into place. And you're like, this is what I'm going to achieve, and this is what I'm going for. So if you've had a long-term goal or something that you've been focusing on, off the new moon into like the 3rd, you want to like look at it and really start shaping it, and then kind of let it rest, because the rest of the first week is a really kind of weird thing. And it's weird in a sense, like there's going to be a lot of drama, like a lot of kind of like fiery energy or like sparkly energy where you're like, oh, where'd that come from? And then it kind of dies out. And it's like an energy that's really bold and shaky, but then when it resolves itself, it's really grounded. And then you look at it and you go, am I crazy? I reacted really big to that, and now it doesn't seem like a big deal. So what's going on? And so what I say to that, in your spiritual evolution, where you are in your journey, stay in the higher realms in the last half of the first week, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, coming into the 7th. And let this be a bit of like a spiritual practice where you're looking at other people who are presenting manipulation or like passive aggressive things. And you're just sitting there going, wow, that's not the way I work. Look at you. Okay, bye. And you're not a part of it. So just stay away from the drama. When you see it, when you recognize it, skirt to the outside, come up to a higher perspective and observe it. And let this be the practice of how you're going to use the higher frequency aspect of your body to not be so heavily involved in the conflict and the fiery drama kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Good. So I've nicknamed every month, and I've nicknamed November the unicorn month because it's kind of a month of expecting the unexpected. And a unicorn is very unexpected because, well, honestly, they just don't really exist in your realm, your world, but they do in other places. And so if you were to see a unicorn walking down the street, you'd be that's certainly expecting the unexpected. Gotcha. But I want you to imagine that this month you're the unicorn. Shock. Ah, ooh, you're the unicorn. And when we come into the second week, so the first week is like the emotional, the manifesting, and then hold. Practice higher perspective as chaos occurs. And then the second week brings in this energy where it's like you, the unicorn, have a chance to transform. It's you look at yourself and you go, I am learning at lightning speed, and I am seeing ways that I want to alter and change how I ground to everything that's around me, which is really cool because it takes you into like the 8th is a really great day for communication. It's a moment of clarity. It's kind of heady energy. Think of like your unicorn growing and all the energy being in the head. And so it's like very detail oriented. So when you go to have conversations around the 7th, 8th, 9th, they'll be very detailed and people want to hear more and they want to know more. And it's just really nice. And then when you come into the ninth, if you're very sensitive to energy, so if you have your calendar out or your pen and paper and you identify as a clairsensitive, you want to go, I need to note the 9th. You also need to note the 1st, the new moon, but note the 9th because the energy that comes in, you can get trapped in it. If you're very sensitive, you tend to put on rose-tinted glasses because things feel better when they're easier, when they're happier. And so you'll just kind of skirt through and just not understand what kind of chaos or strangeness is occurring around you. And really, the spiritual kind of encouragement is to take the rose tinted glasses off and be very honest. And you might come across people who are brutally honest. That's a little rough. You don't need to go that far. But I definitely want you to practice honesty to self. And then when that feels comfortable, turn and do honesty to others. Because right off the tail of this practice of some of you might see it vulnerability plus honesty. Some of you will see it as strength and honesty. It'll be different for everyone because we're also unique because we're unicorns. And when you come off of this, like around the 11th, 12th, the 13th, it's a lot of boosting energy, a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation, a lot more happiness, a lot more joy. And this is really nice because this is a, do you call it a prequel? The thing that happens before it happens? These few days are going to feel like what the last half of November is. I know, I told you before that November was good. But right smack in the middle, like the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, is a really like shake 'em up kind of a day. And it can get really confusing, kind of similar to before when I was like, just avoid the drama around the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And if you live in the United States, you know that's when your election happens. And when you take that higher perspective, you're going to be able to see how the market and the media is really misrepresenting and trying to manipulate voters. So you just pull back, be you. You're going to need that skill again for the 14th, 15th, 16th. And the skill is not to get caught up or swept up or manipulated or convinced by the energies around you. And so you'll have to come into your heart. You've been so good at that. Remember that it was like a whole year ago when we were like, okay, this is the hard lesson. You're now stepping away from the head and you're getting into the heart energy. It's happening. Well, you've been doing it for like a year now. And so here's some more opportunity for you to remember what this feels like to move from heart and feelings, because you get pushed into the right at the full moon. And the full moon it's on the 15th. And the full moon it's not so fun this time. This one's kind of like, I like to highlight all of your insecurities. I would like to show the world the things you didn't want to show others. And so it feels really rattling. And if you have a weak mental constitution, you'll wonder, am I doing something wrong? Why do I feel exposed? Why do I feel like I need to protect it? What's going on? And I don't want you to get stuck in all that bramble and thorns of the thinking. Stay in the heart. And for the full moon, I wouldn't necessarily encourage like using it to manifest. It's just not that kind of energy. It's a little bit more personal. But if you remember on the 3rd where I was like, get your ideas together, get ready to manifest. So you're not going to use the full moon to do it, but you're going to use the energy after the full moon to get it done. So you'll take this energy from the beginning of the month of what you're thinking your plans are and what you'd like to get together and the details of it that you probably went through again and again, like around the 8th and the 9th. And now we're like on the 16th, 17th, 18th. And you're building up because more positive energy is coming in, and you're taking what you want to manifest. And I just want you to look at it again and again and again. No action. Don't do the action. Just look at it, rewrite it, rethink about it, play it in your head, because this is the very thing that's going to set you up for the success. I'm not kidding. I'm very serious on this one. So don't do, but think, hold, feel. Because I want you to hold on to it until we have this switch that comes on the 20th. November 20th, that's when the tiniest, they call it a dwarf planet now, of Pluto comes into Aquarius. And this links up with all the words I've been saying about this year and about how excited I am for 2024 because of all the inventions and all the new ways of living in the world, protecting Mother Nature, inventions, these awesome ideas coming in. They've been channeled in and they've been busy making them. But the energy that begins November 20th, it lasts for 20 years. And this hasn't been here in like 200, 300 years. It's been a long time since the earth has bathed in this energy. And this energy is like, let's bring forward new things in the world, new sense of humanity, new sense of caring for others, new sense of caring for the earth. Okay. With that, bringing the energy forward and shifting all. Remember the ideas I told you to hold in your head from the beginning of the month? And then after the full moon, this is when you start to take action, because this is the energy that you want to use to power up what you're bringing forward and manifesting in your life. You don't want to use the energy on the 17th or the 18th. It's completely different. You'll want to use the energy on the 20th because it's really going to support you. And there's going to be, for the rest of the month, from the 20th through the 30th, it's just like these waves of, undulating. I like this word. Undulating happiness and joy and a sense of, hey, we have this. We are winning. I'm not saying that winning is right or if there is a right or a wrong, but you know the energy that you feel when you're winning? Do you know what I'm talking about? And you feel good about it?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, wow, we are coming together in humanity and we are taking care of the earth and we are going to publish free energy and 0 point energy. And we are going to find ways to eradicate CO2 emissions. And we are, like, it's a winning feeling. this is what Pluto in Aquarius likes to bring forward. But there is a day on the 22nd. I want to call it the fall purge. Do you know how you have a spring clean and you like clean everything? Fall, I think every fall there needs to be a fall purge. And that's when you take all this new creative, inventive energy and you look at your space that you're in and you're like, I don't ever use that. Why do I have it? And then you just start to pare down and you just purge the things that you don't need anymore. But I am a firm believer in recycling and upcycling. And so you find a place for those things. It's not like you throw everything in the trash and stuff like that. But it'd be a great place to like talk to neighbors and do trades. Like, hey, I have this grill I never use because I bought a new one and I thought I'd get rid of the old one and I haven't. Do you want it? Yes, I do. And they come over and they take it and it just feels really good. So on the 22nd, you can make a note in your calendar. Today might be an energy of a purge. You might feel it before because the energy around the 20th gets really exciting and your body might not know how to process it. And so it wants to do something. So it might look at what can I clean and like what can I simplify? And it just might really dive into it hardcore. So you want to be aware of that. And then as we move from the 22nd to the end of the year, there's some really nice dates and time frames. Like on the 27th, it's a really sweet like partnering energy. And so if you want to go on a nice date or a first date, or you want to connect closely with maybe a family member and you just want to have that intimacy with them and just get to know them better, like the 27th energy is really nice for that. And then it just kind of kicks us off into this sense of feeling abundance and feeling innovative, lots of creativity energy. The fourth week is really the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra in November is being supported. There are moments throughout the month where it's like, I need you to look at this in a new way. But honestly, like Pluto in Aquarius is that. It's like, let me be friends with your sacral chakra and invoke all these great emotions and creativity. And what can we give birth to? Ideas and connections and inventions. So the sacral chakra is going to be really alive. And I thought, if it's supporting it so much, the crystal that you want to pair with that chakra does not need to be orange in any nature. It needs to be the opposing color, so it creates a lot more balance. So that's why I went for the lapis lazuli. Bum, 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 bum. So you're going to take the deep blue color and you're going to balance it with its opposite or opposing color in the sacral chakra. And lapis is really good with intuition. So you can imagine it's like taking intuition and divine energy and putting it right into the emotional creative center. So now it's like hot wiring a car, so it bypasses the key. It's like you're making this connection, so it kind of bypasses the whole, I have to think about this, and it's more of immediately manifesting it with more of an emotional energy, which I said, the heart chakra is going to be needed because throughout November, it is about moving from your heart, and you're going to be challenged with this. The chakra that's going to be challenged is solar plexus, and that's the mind. So the mind is going to be challenged. Your character, your personality, it's going to be challenged. It's going to be challenged from day one when it's like, let's do some deep emotional healing. And your mind is like, probably not today, thank you. Or I'm busy. Or I haven't thought about that in a really long time. I didn't even know I was carrying it. Where did you find it? And the head is like, oh, I got to keep up. Because the energy in November is heart-centered. And the heart-centered chakra, the crystal I chose is Rhodonite, but this one is really dark. But it's mostly pink with a little bit of black in it. But this is the sample Jamie has.
You can see the pink in there.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
It's Rhodonite. Rhodonite is very good at healing fears and purging like limited beliefs. So if you're holding something in your heart where you're like, I'm on the fence about that. And I'm worried because my past experience has told me, no, I can't do it. But I do believe in future possibility. So Rhodonite is like, well, let's cut the ties off the past experience because we're not reliving that one, are we? We're going to live this future one. So I like the energy of this for November because it's absolutely natural for a human to go back and rely on their past experiences to let them know what's going on in their current experiences. But this is a unicorn month. You got to expect the unexpected. I don't want you to expect what happened to you last year or when you were 2 to occur again because it's not. Because you are creating the new earth. Pluto is coming to Aquarius. Oh, it's so exciting. I just can't stand it. Then for solar plexus, that's being challenged, I chose Citrine. Citrine is a very positive. It encourages favorable outcomes, and it also works on deep fears. It also works on clearing out, I call it the junk in your trunk, the little like internal belief systems you have about yourself that don't really work with you anymore because you've been growing on your spiritual journey. You know those. They pop up every now and then. Sometimes they're called gremlins and they just kind of come alive. Citrine is like, let me help you with that because I want you to have assistance with that so that you move through this month with a lot more awareness. Heart awareness, number one, and then the ability to mentally perceive at a higher level. Not meaning frequency, but like at a third perspective. You know what I mean by that? Yeah. Okay. So if you find that you have, I feel like I have to burp, but I'm not burping. I know Jamie's body is a little upset because she accidentally ate something that she wasn't supposed to eat and she was allergic to it and the body's still processing it, but it will be fine. It didn't burp. It went down the other way. I know she's going to find out that I said all of that out loud, but that's okay because that's what we have, an open relationship. Sometimes.
It's all good. You said it with a lot of tact.
Okay. So if you find that you have a lot that you're working on for November and you don't have a therapist or a life coach or an intuitive coach or somebody to help you observe the experiences you're going through, this would be a great month to find one. It really would. So all of you Luminaire therapists, you Luminaire intuitive coaches, you Luminaire life coaches, stand up. This is your month. People are like needing this service to understand the quickness at which they're growing and definitely how to let things rest. How do you let it rest? Because you're going to get that practice hardcore around the 5th. The 4th, 5th, 6th. You're going to get hardcore again around the full moon. And then a little bit after the full moon, like around the 16th, but that's when the energy starts shifting to rise into stronger, happier times with Pluto into Aquarius. I will say right at the midpoint of the month, like the 14th, 15th, 16th, Mother Earth is also going to be feeling all of these energy shifts. And so she's going to make a little bit of a, she's going to make a little bit of a shudder, and you're going to have some unexpected like weather things. Like this could be having more earthquakes being detected and monitored on higher levels at that time, or like a very late the game storm that's just not expected, but the energy that she's washing through her body is going to come out in a little bit of like a whoo. Expect the unexpected. And I don't say that like, I don't mean to keep you in mystery or fear. It's not like that. Because again, I want you to visualize that you are the unicorn, not the month. You are the unicorn. Okay, so some of the things I like to add into the month is about the sound and the spirit animal and essential oils and the crystals to grid your bed. But you don't have to use all of these things. I mention a variety of things because everybody is so different and we each of us have our own little likes and niches. And I hope that it just helps you find one that works for you and that you can use the energy just to really help you through the month. So the Hertz for the month is 417. It's 417. And it's just like the unicorn. It's very transformational. It likes to help your body grow and change. It does work on deep emotions, but it is about a shift. It's like coming from within out. So you can listen to that frequency at night for the month. And if you're listening to the frequency at night, I want you to turn it down as low as possible so that you can barely hear it when you're squinting your eyes. You barely hear it. That's as loud as it needs to be. That's it. So you can actually play it throughout the whole house, and during the day you won't even recognize it, but your body's being bathed in that frequency and it can feel it and it will shift. And then if you like using spirit animals, I know this is not an animal, but I chose the unicorn. So if you see it in art, or if you see the written word, or if you see just like the one singular horn or representation of the unicorn, I just want you to know it is a big mirror at you going, look at you. You are one of a kind. And the unicorn represents like purity. It represents a wholeness. And it also shows like a deep need for healing self and a deep need and desire to heal the earth, like the whole. So when the sign like pops up to you, then it's like, oh, I get it. I am that person. I am seeking, or I have that wholeness in myself, and I'm helping others to find it. Others, which is a good point, because in the month of November, it's actually very, does the word copacetic mean to be in alignment? I'm trying to use new words today. Is that what it means?
Mm-hmm. I mean, things are copacetic, they're all good.
It's very copacetic to ask for help. So November is great for community. And it's great for you if you are on your own and you're having a difficult moment to just say, I need some help. Because there's going to be somebody right next to you or the next community over, and they hear you say help and they go, oh, we like to help. And they give, and then you give, and they give, and it's just this balance. And it just feels really good. So there's that. So when you see the unicorn in print or anything of that nature, it's what you could think about. Then if you like essential oils and you like aromatherapy, then you can try on this recipe. It's 4 drops of bergamot. It's a citrus and it's very light. It's very nice. It's a brightener. It's going to help the solar plexus. Remember the solar plexus and the citrine, that's going to need a lot of help because it's being challenged this month. Who are you? And then 4 drops of bergamot, 3 drops of rosemary, great for the heart and the lungs, by the way. But the heart, the newness, the growth. Okay, 3 drops of rosemary. Then we go to 2 drops of orange, which is all about the sacral chakra. That's the one that is being supported for the month. And then boop, boop, 4 bergamot, 3 rosemary, 2 orange, and 1. I did 4.
I know what it is from Jamie's notes.
What is it?
Spearmint.
Spearmint, that's it. I was going back and forth between peppermint or spearmint, but spearmint has a softer edge to it. And I think that's much nicer with the citrus flavors of orange and bergamot. But it's the one that helps you stay alert and paying attention to what's around you. And that is going to be much needed. When you're really, well, I don't mean it that way, but if you are very sensitive to energies in the environment, this is going to be a growth month for you. Many opportunities to grow. And it's not like a force growing or what you would consider this is a lesson for you to learn to be able to live in everyday world situations. It's more of the energy coming through might feel overwhelming because it's not a lot, it's just a different frequency. And it might feel overwhelming, but the undertone of it is excitement. The undertone is interest, alluring, excitement. It's not overwhelming and I can't deal and I'm breaking down and I need privacy and this is difficult. It's not like that. So it's not a forced curve, a forced learning curve. It really is an opportunity for a lot of growth. So hang in there. There's on the 23rd, the day after the fall purge, on the 23rd is a nice day to catch your breath. It is the sweetest, calmest day. But I would choose the 8th for the best day to communicate with spirit. And then I would choose November 1st because that's the thinning of the veil. That's the Day of the Dead. And of course, all of us get really excited. It's like our big holiday that we get to have with you. So Halloween and the eve of the Day of the Dead and the Day of the Dead is very exciting over here. Just so you know. Okay, so when it comes time to using your crystals around your bed, this is called a grid. A grid happens when you have 4 of the same crystal and you put 1 on each corner of the bed. And then each one sends energy back and forth to itself and it talks to each other. And it creates this, think about it like a bath that has no water, but you're being bathed in that energy frequency. And so what would be really great for November's energies, I like to keep the black tourmaline around the bed. That's the protector. It also self-cleanses, which is nice. Then I would definitely put some lapis lazuli. Oh, absolutely would I ever. And not only is that going to encourage the growth of your third eye, which would be intuition and spiritual growth, it's really going to keep that creative sacral chakra in action and in balance. And so when you wake up, you might just pop out of bed with ideas of what to do for the day and just fully understand it and comprehend it, which is awesome. It's like things are working on the backside and you don't have to work through it mentally because it's intuitive and emotional, and that's where you're living. Absolutely would have this. If you have a hard time sleeping, I would put amethyst around the bed. Sometimes very sensitive, psychically sensitive people, being around lapis lazuli is sometimes a little too activating. That amethyst will help calm that down and you can still enjoy the boost in the psychicness. So that is good. If that would be the core bit of it. Now, if you are going through a lot of emotions, struggles, maybe you're combing through emotions and having some difficulty in this time of your life about what to feel, how to express, where to find yourself, then I would take my Rhodonite. I get 4 pieces. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as small as like the pinky nail. Just make sure that your vacuum or your animals aren't going to eat your crystals. So sometimes taping them down underneath your bed works really well. Or putting them in a baggie and then, what's the name of it? It's not a paper clip, but you open it up and it's sharp and then you pin it. Pin. Is it a pin? No. Safety pin. It's a safety pin.
Yes.
Okay, you could safety pin the bag to the mattress, and so it kind of hangs up so your vacuum or your animals won't eat it. But it could be small rhodonite. And the rhodonite is going to just, like a sponge, just kind of suck up the worry, the fear, the concern. And it's just easing the heart, which will soften the mental body, because the mental body really gets rowdy when the heart is out of place. And boy, you have all these vicious thoughts. It's pretty wild how you guys do that. If you find that you're a very heady person and you're having all these heavy thoughts and you just want to be eased from it, you just like let it go, then I would use labradorite around the bed. Soften those thoughts for this month. This month is more about the heart. For your citrine, I would put it in your pocket, in your car, the place that you kind of hang out the most, but I would kind of leave it away from the bed. I want the heart to be tended to in the bed. I don't really want to activate the solar plexus so much because when you are awake, that is the one thing that is on all the time. So I want it to kind of rest a little bit more at night. So that is your crystal grid: black tourmaline, lapis lazuli, amethyst if you have a hard time sleeping. If you have selenite around your bed, you might not really need it because you have lapis in its place. If you're working through emotionals, then I would add rhodonite to the lapis, to the black tourmaline. I would say if you are a heady person, lots of vicious thoughts, I would not put the rhodonite, I would put labradorite. And then I would put citrine in all of your favorite places where you go, like at your desk, in your pocket, in your purse, in the kitchen. A lot of you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. We did not spend a lot of time in the kitchen, not like you guys do now. The kitchen is like almost the number one room. We had a sitting area that you would sit in. That's where you spent your time.
Oh. Beatrice is asking which crystal is the best to wear this month as a pendant specifically.
As a pendant. See that? Lapis. If I had to pick across the board, I would pick lapis. But if I would go back to if you're really emotional and you're coming off maybe a hardship, or you're in the middle of getting a divorce or the middle of making a big decision and your heart is just like aching. Rhodonite. If you don't have rhodonite, I mean, you could wear rose quartz, but rose quartz is very different than rhodonite. Rhodonite has a little bit more strength in there, and I'm going to get in there and I'm really going to help those frequencies like calm down and release, where rose quartz is like, shh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And it's like a bit of a calmer, where this one's like, let me take that from you. And then if you were heady, I would wear the citrine during the day, but I wouldn't wear it at night. Just give yourself a break at night. That is the Unicorn November. Expect the unexpected. Oh, I forgot to tell you one thing. Your Mercury in retrograde comes again on the 26th, but it's not going to do so much. It's just going to be slow. And so it will slow down travel. It'll just kind of slow down decisions, just kind of like like that. So you're okay to still move forward and make those decisions. But I would also look if you're traveling around the 15th, 16th, and 17th, because that's when the earth wants to shake things off. So just make sure wherever you're going, of the weather, how to receive an alarm in case there is a bigger weather pattern coming, and just how to take care of yourself no matter where you are. I know that's a very blanket statement. I don't mean to scare you with something like that. I'm just saying wherever you go, just be prepared around those times. But the other times, it's go have a good time. You're fine. Are there any questions about the month?
There is some questions about the month. We are at... What would you like me to ask about, and then what do you want to say for the deep dive? We have questions about the U.S. presidential election, of course, because that's next week.
That is next week. We can do all of that in the deep dive.
Okay.
But if you want to know about economy and currencies, your APR for loans and things of that nature, it's going to continue to come down. And the best time if you want to purchase properties or get into that would probably be in February, March of next year. That would be kind of the lowest point. And then it's going to slowly creep back up to maybe a 6, which is still kind of low from where it had been. But it'll get into the 4s. And then if you're talking about cryptocurrency, this is the time now where there's larger fluctuations, and some of them is going like a Bitcoin, and I can't remember the other name. Blah. It's hard finding information in a brain that's not yours. But But the Bitcoin, the main one, when it drops low in the month of November, go ahead and buy it. It'll
Vlad
go
is
up.
saying ETH.
ETH.
Or
know, but-
Monero?
No, not that one.
Okay, you're talking about the ETH.
Is that Ethereum?
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's two large ones, and Bitcoin is one. And so when it drops low, you'll see when it's low, you're like, well, that's low. Like you won't have to question it. You just go ahead and buy it, and then just sit on it. And it always, when you're doing Bitcoin investments, it's always money that you don't need. Don't expect it back. Don't expect a return. That's the best way to have a relationship with this kind of currency, because it's still volatile and it's not going to be as strong until we get really into several years in the future. Like you have to watch the federal banks kind of collapse. And the federal banks right now are under a lot of pressure. So I'm expecting some interesting twists and turns with that in 2025. But I'm telling you, you're not going to feel it. It's not going to be devastating. It's just going to be everybody going, oh, that makes sense. Yep. Like you'll still have your money, but things are breaking and changing and growing, but you still have your money. And you're like, yeah, you bet. You know, you feel a little confident. It's nice.
And Cheryl is saying, what about gold and silver?
Gold and silver is still going up. I wish you would have bought it much earlier, but if you want to buy some of it now, you can. It's not going to go up as drastically. It'll continue to go up probably through like till summer of next year. So maybe you can get a few $100 more out of each. You sell it in ounces? I think that's how it sells. No, in a pound? How is it sold? That's pretty funny.
It's sold in ounces.
Okay.
That's one of the ways it's sold. Yeah, for sure.
But it's the bigger measurement. So it'll go up a few $100. You know, the best way to invest is it's a land grab. Own something like that and sit on it. And it's really nice that the APRs are going to drop. So if you're thinking about getting a loan and purchasing something, or you're thinking about getting, you know, land, a secondary home, a vacation home, or a home that you can rent, this is very smart. And I absolutely agree with you in doing it. It's also really good write-offs. But I would go ahead and start kind of looking now, but really pull the trigger maybe at the beginning, February, March. You'll have more of a sense as we get closer, because they'll be publishing the numbers. And then when it hits, like, be ready. Just be ready and grab it and use it. I've had so much fun with you. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, if you like the content, give it a thumbs up and leave us comments about how you like it and what it's doing for you, because all the information that the topics, the themes of the information, like the chakras, challenged, needed, supported, all of these things came because it was what you were interested in learning for the month. That's what makes it different than other energy updates out there, is that, well, one, it's directly from a spirit, and two, it's about how do you manage the frequencies that are coming in, and what are the tools that you have to use. So if there's something else that you want to add to it, just give a suggestion and maybe we can add it in. Colleen's laughing because I always come and we should do like a plant of the month or a tree of the month, the song of the month. But, you know, I mean in terms of healing self, so we don't have to be so ridiculous with it. And of course, if you find out any information is useful, send it to a friend. And I will see you later, alligators.
What do you want to say before I say after a while, crocodile? You want to add something else?
I'll see you soon, baboon.
See you in the morning, unicorn. Is that what you wanted to say?
I was like, should we do that one last? Because the animal is the unicorn and the month is the unicorn. But also, what was the other one the other day? It was so cute. I'll see you in a bit, little tick.
I don't know that one. All right, so we'll see everyone at 3:45.
Yes, I'll be there.
Eastern time.
Yes.
Bye, Maitland. Thank you.
Bye, you're welcome.